Good morning, everyone. Hi. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's Thursday, and we are going to just not sure if you can quite see everything here. I think you can see everything you need to. Okay, so we're gonna do a something that I'm not sure how to pronounce. It's either giardiniera or giardiniera. To me, it sounds like a giardiniera. And so, yeah, so we're going to make that and a little bit of something else. And it's pretty easy. This is a recipe it's a fermented recipe. And it is for the vegetables they ferment, of course, in the salt brine, and then when they're finished, you want to let them ferment until they break down enough to where you can actually mash them with a fork. And then this would be good for it's kind of like pickled peppers, only it's really good on there's always something that goes on around here. Oh my gosh. Okay. You never know. I mean, honestly, we drop things and things fall and explode and pretty interesting yesterday. Anyways, yeah, we have lots of fun on Facebook Live. It's all about sharing recipes that are healthy and fun. And I'm not a professional cook at all. I just try to make healthy food, and the Facebook Live is all about sharing that with a community of people who have come together to kind of just hang out with me in the morning while I make some of the things that we use and eat. And yeah, so if you want real 15-minute recipes that are healthy with an actual ingredients list and everything, you can go to my YouTube channel and check that out. There's a couple hundred videos there. They're about 15-minute meals, super healthy. And my Instagram has hundreds of fantastic pictures of super healthy food. So for today, and on Facebook Live, we just kind of hang out and do things on the fly. And when you're live, many things happen that are unexpected. So we just roll with it because it's all fun. Okay, we're going to get started. Actually, you know what? Well, maybe I will just cut this piece off here and then get to my carrots. I'll just set that there. I always have such a little workspace here. Sometimes it's hard to know where to put things, and also I do try and do a couple things in the Facebook Live. So I try and do a couple different recipes and share some healthy tips on herbs and different things that are in your kitchen. Hopefully in your kitchen, that you can use if you have little minor health issues going on, or you've gone to the doctor and they can't quite figure it out, or something just minor happening that you want some help with. Then then we share information with that as well. So I'm just going to put a few carrots in, and then we're going to layer. So traditionally, this I'm going to call it giardiniera, is done with cauliflower, onions, and peppers. And I don't have any, I'm going to cut that up a little bit smaller. I don't have any fresh red peppers, but I do have fresh jalapenos and a couple tiny green peppers. I am growing, overwintering my peppers. So I have them under a grow light in the spare bedroom. And so I am getting peppers. This just came right off my pepper plant, so I'm really happy. We'll see. I don't know if I will get peppers all winter. But anyway, I'm still getting them, so that's good. And then apparently you can, I was just looking for a smaller knife, which I don't seem to have here. I must put them all in the dishwasher. But yeah, these little tiny peppers here, super cute. Little tiny green bell peppers from my plants. And then we're going to, actually, you know what? I'm going to finish cutting up these carrots. because I'm going to cut some jalapenos, and I don't really want to, I don't want to hurt myself with the spicy jalapenos and then accidentally touch something I shouldn't touch. So I'm going to cut these guys up, and these guys are from the garden as well. The carrots and the tomato is also. So like I said, typically this recipe, like the giardiniera, is usually done with peppers, red peppers and green peppers and jalapeno peppers and that kind of thing. And I don't have any red peppers, so I am going to add this tomato. Now, I was a little worried about the tomato being getting too mushy, because I have fermented tomatoes before, and they get a little, they can get a little super soft on the inside. But this particular tomato is, I don't know what kind of brand it is. Hi, good morning, Darlene. So happy to see you on here. So I don't know what kind this is, but it's very meaty, like meaty. It's got a really thick inside. It's not like it's like it hardly has any juice in it. And so I'm going to use this and see how it turns out. And the other thing I do have is I dehydrated my peppers, my red peppers from this summer. And so I'm going to throw some dehydrated ones in, because I don't see why they wouldn't work. And so we're going to do a few of these as well. Okay, so I also have my onion here. I have a half an onion from yesterday. And I am keeping the little things, the little roots, and I'm putting them in just a little bit of water. And you know how you can kind of restart your vegetables on the kitchen windowsill in this case, and get a little bit of greens out of it. So I'm going to put some onion in as well. So this makes a really tasty, you could actually serve this on crackers if you wanted. You could, yeah, you can put it in a sandwich. You can serve it on crackers. You can have it kind of like an antipasto. Hey, nice. Oh, is it? Oh my gosh. I don't know. Yeah, the computers have been acting very weird. Hopefully, hopefully this is being recorded. If you can see me, then we're doing good. Okay, so we're going to add a couple peppers to this. We added some onions, some carrots. I'm going to leave these chunks of tomato fairly whole, so that you can, so that hopefully they don't just fall apart. And I am going to add my little jalapenos. So these are, I'm just going to chop these in half. I don't want them to, you know what? I probably shouldn't put the seeds in. I'm just thinking about that, because you do know the seeds are like super, super hot. So maybe I'll just put the skins in, because this is not that big of a jar. And so here's the dangerous part, right? I don't want to touch anything else after I've touched these jalapeno seeds, because it could be quite dangerous. I'm just going to gently put the seeds over and saving the seeds. So the other thing is, I still have these peppers from the garden, and so they're organic. So I am saving the seeds, and I think that it's super important to save the seeds right now of whatever you have that's organic, like these guys here. This tomato from my garden, I'm going to save the seeds on that as well, and so yeah. So if you, especially if you have vegetables that you really like, that are, that you want to save seeds on. So you're just going to kind of layer this however you want. You could get all fancy, which obviously I'm not really getting that fancy with it. But, just kind of layer the colors in and make sure I don't touch my face. And I'll put this little pepper in too, with avoiding, this is just a little bell pepper. So it doesn't matter if I put the seeds in, or at least it doesn't matter to me. And so we're going to add some more carrots and the pepper and more carrots. I'll cut them up. So yeah, so the reason the reason that you're fermenting this rather than pickling it, which you could pickle it and it would be fabulous too. Hey, yeah, hi. It's it's nice to see everybody on here, Barb. Yeah, so the reason that you would do this in a ferment rather than pickling, and the pickling would be just fine, it would taste amazing, but you're not going to get those probiotic benefits. So the probiotics are super important for your immune system. They work with your intestinal health or your gut health. You know, pretty much everybody knows about you know, if you've ever been on antibiotics or anything, you need to replace the beneficial bacteria in your intestine. And so the probiotics are so fabulous because they improve your intestinal health, and they not only do that, they control if you've ever had yeast infections or any kind of fungal things. They work with that. They work with the immune system. They work with the brain. They've done a lot of studies where the benefits of the probiotics, having someone on like raw fermented sauerkraut or raw fermented anything, is really good for the brain. It's been used in research for depression and actually for Alzheimer's as well, and autism. So super important, and especially during these times, like these times right here, when we need to be paying attention to our immune system and our health. And you know, your immune system starts really in your intestine. So it's super important to be making sure that your intestinal health and your internal bacteria is as operating as optimally as possible. So yeah, so you guys, it's really important. And you don't have to, you know, you don't have to go to all the work that I do with fermenting all these different things. I try and have a ferment going all the time. And like we did the fermented carrots with with garlic, and you know, I just take a carrot. It's like a long slice of carrot, of a half a carrot. I can't remember what that particular cut is called. It's not a julienne, it's something else. But it's like a carrot pickle. And so so just throw one on your plate at dinner time. And so when we were eating last night, you know, you've got your little I did put some fermented sauerkraut on our plate too, but also, you know, just the little kind of like a condiment, like having a dill pickle. And so you're eating the fermented carrot, which tastes exactly pickled. So depending on how you do it, it's really yummy, super good for you. And today I'm drinking the bay leaf with the hot water. And the bay leaves, I know I've been going on and on about bay leaves with you guys and probably driving you crazy, but the benefits are so important, and I didn't really know that. I hadn't had, these are my dried red peppers, dehydrated, because I don't have any red peppers, and this recipe traditionally calls for red peppers. So I'm just going to throw the dehydrated ones in here. I've never done that before, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, so back to the bay leaf. So important. So we have the bay leaf here, bay leaves, and if you haven't tried them fresh or fresh-ish, like this is from this summer, so it's really fresh, the flavor is very much like eucalyptus, maybe even sort of a cross between spearmint and eucalyptus. It has the most amazing smell when it's fresh, and I don't mean bay leaves that have been sitting in your cupboard for 2 to 10 years. But fresh ones that actually have a lot of the healing properties and the oils and everything. And, you know, they're just so fantastic for internally and externally. Right now I'm making, and I'll show you guys after I finish working with the food, but I'm making salves that have the bay leaves and also sage. And sage, if you don't know, where am I at? I get so distracted. I get so passionate about everything. It's just like, oh my God, you guys, this is so exciting. But if you don't know, the sage also, and it can be regular, you know, our culinary Western sage, you know, that you grow in your garden, or it can be like the sage that a person would burn for smudge. And if you don't know what smudging is, it's like, you know, burning to clear the air. It disinfects the air. It's for clearing all kinds of things. And we could go into that deeper at another time. But anyway, with the sage, it also has antiviral, antibacterial properties. And so with the salve, okay, what colors do I need, you guys? A little bit of green. Oh, we have this one. This one's from my little garden in the bedroom. Speaking of which, a couple friends of mine are selling those. Like, I just have like a grow light and all my pepper plants, and I still have lettuce plants and Swiss chard and all that kind of thing in the bedroom growing, like a little garden. But two friends of mine actually have garden towers, and it's a specific, really cool thing. It doesn't take up much room, like my bedroom is just full of plants, right? So rather than having a whole bedroom full of plants, it's a tower that stands up, and it has all the little things to grow your plants in. So you could put it in any little corner, you know, it's only like so big. And that's super awesome. So if you're interested in that, my friend Ava Grote, she is selling them, and that's really cool. So yeah, so that you can have your fresh greens all winter. Okay, so back to the sage and the beneficial properties of the bay leaves. And I can't remember why I started. Oh, the peppers, because I got the peppers out of my bedroom. I get distracted so easy. Okay, so we must need cauliflower and another sip of the bay water. Okay, so we're coming along here. A little red, little green, little orange, little more red, and a little more green. So basically, you're going to ferment this. You're going to cover this with the salt brine that helps it to ferment. And so with your ferment, you're going to have like anywhere, depending on what you're doing, like these are pretty heavy vegetables, like with the carrots are quite thick. So in that case, I put 2 level tablespoons of salt in this, and this is the Himalayan sea salt, the fine granulated. And so this is the salt brine that you're going to pour over that to start the ferment. And then depending on the time of year, and what did I just put in there? Okay, I need tomato. Depending on the time of year and how warm it is, your ferment can start fermenting within 3 days in the summer. And right now it's very cold in the house, so it's going to take longer. This might have to sit out for a week. Check it every day, and it may have to sit out even for 2 weeks until you'll see the little bubbles coming up, and then that's how you know that it's fermenting. And then you should check it. Like usually you should check it and taste it 3 to 5 days into it. Now, if you are using, like I have these handy things, this is the company, I'm really quite in love with their lids. Now this has a little vacuum thing and a vacuum pump, and you pull the oxygen out so it doesn't mold. Because if any of your fermented vegetables, anything at all, goes above the brine, above that salt water, it will start to mold. So it's important to make sure everything's below the water. Over the years, I didn't, until I started sharing with you guys different ways of doing this, I would just put a cloth over this with elastic around it and make sure that the vegetables were under the water. And I would add some salt water to it and check it all the time. And so it's a lot more work to keep checking, make sure that mold doesn't start growing. There are many books on fermentation, and many people are totally fine with the little mold that grows on top. That's called it's called calm, I believe. It's called calm. It's like the little mother in the vinegar. It's like a little scum that goes over top, kind of like a kombucha SCOBY, and that's perfectly normal. And so you just clean that off, and then you use the food. But what I found is it's way easier if you're using one of these, and I have other types of lids too that I don't happen to have in front of me, but you can watch lots of my videos with them. But I'm really liking this one. because you don't have to worry about that. You don't even have to look at it for 3 to 5 days. Whereas if you have a cloth over it, you need to be checking, because some of the vegetables could have floated up and gotten into the air and not being below the brine, and then start to mold. So the other thing that's super cool is I've got that one's been sitting there for a while. These are my clean ones, and so this is it's a weight. The other thing you can use are the little tiny jam jars. I don't happen to have one here, but the little tiny jam jars, and put that in to weight it down. So you can do that. You can just set this in, and I've filled it up too much, doing too many things at once. So I'm going to set this on here to catch the juice. And so you would weigh this down. You know what? I'm not even going to do that. But you can, depending on what you're making, like if it was a sauerkraut or anything else, weigh this down and then put your lid on. But because I have this lid and this has the vacuum, I really don't even need the weight, because it's going to stop this from molding, because there won't be any oxygen. It's the oxygen that hits, the vegetables in the air that creates the issue. Okay, so we're just going to put this on. And yeah, and so what this is a, for the people that have just joined us, this is called a giardiniera. And basically it's kind of, I think traditionally, I'm not sure, but I think traditionally it's like an Italian thing, fermented vegetables. And when they ferment enough, they become soft enough. You can just take them out, mush them with a fork, and put them on sandwiches. You can, I've put them on as a condiment for a veggie burger or whatever. Or just cut them up a little bit and use them like as an antipasto or side dish of like a, like pickled vegetables. So anyway, okay, so we've got our lid on here, and just gonna pull that up, and you can see it's pulling the oxygen. And so you just do that and get rid of all the oxygen. You can feel that pressure there. And so we are good to go. So I don't have to check this for a few days. And this is, I'm just looking at the box down there because I always forget the name of it. I want to call it a Brillianti, which is the trademark, but it's called an Easy Grip. Easy Grip? Yeah, Easy Grip lids. And the reason, I think the reason they call it Easy Grip is it has these little bumps that stick out, so it's easy to undo the lid. And the other thing that's really cool, it has the actual date. It has a little thing here so that you know what day you've started your ferment, which of course I can't see unless I lift it down here. Okay, so there we go. So that's the giardiniera, which is super cool, and that's going to be a really great condiment to add to anything. The other thing I wanted to show you, I'll show you the salve after, but, and I am totally losing my voice. I don't know why. Every once in a while, it just like completely goes on me. Maybe because I talk too much. Okay, so the other thing we're going to do here that's super really fun, super quick. I've done this recipe with you guys before, and it's awesome. And basically what you do is you put bananas and cocoa and maple syrup in here, and it turns into a fabulous chocolate pudding. But sometimes I just don't like the taste, because you can still taste the banana a little bit in the cocoa pudding. And so what you can do is you can freeze cauliflower, and it has virtually no taste. So we're going to do the same thing. Yeah, I think we'll use all of this. We're going to do the same thing with this cauliflower, and put the cocoa and the maple syrup in it and make the chocolate pudding with the cocoa and the maple syrup. So that's going to be really fun. I know this is a brand new thing. It's a brand new thing. Oh gosh, I should always open these things before I start, because I seem to have technical difficulties when it comes to opening things, especially when I'm live. Oh my God. Okay, let's do this. It will come off. Okay, I'm not gonna struggle with the whole thing. So we're gonna add, I don't know, I say an eighth, maybe, because a quarter of a cup of maple syrup. Because the cocoa is very bitter, it's a pure organic cocoa powder, so it's going to be pretty bitter. So I did add a little more maple syrup than I maybe normally would, because if you're doing it with the banana is already sweet. The cauliflower doesn't have any sweetness, and so we're adding a little more maple syrup. Now you could add some kind of stevia or coconut sugar or something like that if you wanted for the sweetener. And so we're just going to kind of pulse this a bit, and then we're going to see if we need to add any almond milk to it. We need the lid just in case. Okay. Okay, so I am going to add some coconut milk, or actually in this case it's almond milk. I like them both. They're amazing. And the other thing I probably should have done, which would be really helpful, would be to cut up that cauliflower into smaller bits so that the blade can grab it. Doesn't it look pretty? I should have done that. I'm always, I always place a clean knife. I always place such faith in my Vitamix that it can chew anything up, but I tend to forget that the blades actually have to come into contact with it to do that. Okay, don't do this at home. My Vitamix is so old. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit. And it's so much fun to experiment with these things. I haven't done this before, but it's so much fun to do it with you guys. So it still sounds crunchy. Okay, all right, so let's see. This, I might have added too much milk. Oh, maybe not. I'm such a terrible thing for measuring. I just don't, that's just too much work to measure things. It's not really my, it's not my forte to measure things. Okay, so we have the exact perfect amount here. Let's see if I got all the chunks. Did I? Looks pretty good. Okay, and of course, before you pour it in like that, you would want to taste it and see if it's sweet enough for you. But I'm going to taste it afterwards, just to see. Yeah, see, I don't like it too sweet. You don't taste the cauliflower at all. That's awesome. Really, really good. So you could spice that up too. You could add a little bit of ginger to that. You could add my favorite, cayenne, or whatever you want. Yeah, that's really good. And so if you don't like the flavor of bananas with the cocoa, then the cauliflower works great because it's virtually flavorless. So the last thing I wanted to share with you guys is was to show you the bay. Oh my gosh, where did I put the milk here? I'm gonna put the lid on the milk before I toss it. Yeah, so the bay leaves are really good in a tea. Obviously they have, oh my gosh, they've been used for so many things, like for the immune system. They've been used like even in cancer, like as an anti-cancer, one of the herbs that in anti-cancer formulas. They have quercetin in them, which is super important right now to have quercetin with your zinc. Internally, they just do so many things. Oh gosh, all kinds of things. Antibacterial, antiviral, I already said that. And the thing is, in the salves, it's very anti-inflammatory and pain relieving. And I think, that's because of, it's not menthol, I think it's phenols or something. And the smell is amazing. So I did do a couple different blends here. I'm doing different blends of the salves. This is the one with the, this one has the sage and the bay leaf And then I also added essential oils so that it's kind of like a Vicks Vapor Rub kind of thing. We made this the other day, and it's just absolutely amazing. And then specific things, right, for pain and inflammation. Oh, I've got the little lid on here. For spicier things or different things. For pain and inflammation specifically, I don't know if you guys remember, but we made that formula for gout this summer, and then we did one with cayenne for pain relieving, kind of like a hot cold salve, you know, like the what's the name for that brand? Spicy Heat or something, or I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, similar to that. And the bay has such the smell is just amazing. It's just so different. Combination with the sage, the smell of the sage, which really smells like eucalyptus or like Vicks, and then with the bay, it just adds that hint of kind of like almost a spearminty, lemony. It's amazing. Anyway, it smells awesome. So anyway, that's it for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning, and yeah, and then we'll keep an eye on this and let you know how everything goes. Okay, take care, and check out my Instagram, my YouTube, and subscribe and share.